When Britney Spears lost her court battle with her father in dramatic fashion, I told you all that she was going to spiral, just spiral out of control. And what have we seen since then? She got caught in public raging out, kicking out her own windshield while she was parked on the side of the road. And then she claimed that she was paralyzed and then had to delete the post once people called her out. And of course, we can't forget when she got down and dirty and kinky with that horse, right? I'll never get those images out of my brain. But now, last night, the situation got even worse. In fact, it got way worse. Reportedly, Britney Spears had some sort of mental breakdown last night and winded up getting into a huge fight with her new toilet cleaning boyfriend at a luxury hotel in Los Angeles. Now, before I go any further, let me just say that if there is a lack of enthusiasm in this video, trust me, it's only because I have not slept at all. This news is the news that I've kind of been waiting for a long time. But last night I was up covering the various protests happening at UCLA and other college campuses around America, just basically doing play-by-play updates over on my X or Twitter account. So if you want to see some crazy footage from all of the protests that are happening right now, go follow me over on X. But no matter how crazy that stuff gets, I assure you it does not hold a candle to the queen of crazy, Britney Spears herself. Now, I want you all to take a long, hard look at this photo. Do you all see this photo? And you Yas Queen fans, I'm talking to you all. Do you see this photo? This is what I and my subscribers and everyone else who has been brave enough to call out this nonsense, this is exactly what we were trying to prevent. Because all of this drama, all of this craziness, it's totally unnecessary. We did not have to be here. Britney Spears could very literally be on an island somewhere, sipping a latte, enjoying the last couple of years with her kids as her kids transition from kids to young men. You know, this moment in a child's life when they're transitioning from teenagers into adults, it's a very complicated time in a young person's life, and I believe that they need their mother there in a time like that. But instead of being there for her children, Britney Spears is in a random hotel right down the street from her house with the dude that cleans her toilets. She's in this hotel with some scrub doing Lord knows what, probably high on Lord knows what, getting into fist fights, having the police called on her multiple times as she cusses out hotel staff and is rude to everyone. That's where we're at. A 40-something-year-old woman who should be enjoying the last couple of years as with her kids while they're still kids is instead in a random hotel with some random bozo getting into random fights while probably most likely on random substances, and they almost carted her ass off on a stretcher. And I wouldn't be surprised if this woman ends up in some type of facility soon. Now, her delusional fans and enablers are hard at work trying to spin this story in whatever way they can, but folks, the stuff is starting to pile up. It's starting to add up. At some point, people are going to catch on to the fact that, wait, maybe, just maybe, Britney is to blame for a lot of her problems. Instead of crafting these wild conspiracies to try to place the blame on literally anyone else, why not look at Britney Spears? Britney Spears is like the common denominator in all of these situations. They all surround her. But no, we're supposed to believe that the entire world, including random paramedics, random police officers, random hotel staff that are trying to do their job, when Britney's running around topless inside of their hotel, verbally assaulting them. Okay? But we gotta believe Britney, because everyone else in the world is the problem. Britney's not the problem. Yeah, effing right. So let's go ahead and dive into this article and see what exactly transpired last night. Britney Spears, paramedics, police called to hotel, guest feared mental breakdown. Britney Spears got into a huge fight with her boyfriend Wednesday night, and she ended up out of control, crying, possibly cut, and almost driven away in an ambulance. Britney got to the Chateau Marmont late Wednesday night with boyfriend Paul, and there was some sort of disturbance, and someone called the police, claiming a woman matching Britney's description was harassing and threatening hotel employees and guests. Officers showed up shortly after 10:30 p.m., but they saw no signs of trouble, so they left. Then, we're told Britney and Paul retreated to a hotel room around 11 p.m., where they continued partying and drinking. While they were in the room, they ended up getting into a huge altercation that we're told turned physical, according to sources, and Britney may have hurt her leg. We're told that Britney was screaming and out of control in the hallway of her suite, and several guests thought that she was having a mental breakdown, so paramedics were called. While we're told the call to paramedics was for possibly an injured person, sources at the hotel tell us they feared it was for a mental breakdown. Paramedics arrived around 12:40 a.m. They made contact with Britney, who was walking out of the hotel with a pillow and a blanket wrapped around her with no top on. She had clearly been crying. She did not get into the ambulance and ended up leaving with her security. So, once again, now, we already know there's reports from other hotels literally around the world that have claimed that Britney is rude to staff and that she literally walks around with her tits out around kids, at the pool, around guests. It doesn't matter. She just walks around these hotels like she owns the place. Now, for those of you who have a hard time believing that Britney's going broke, understand that even when Britney's at home in her hometown, she will literally go and spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to stay at hotels and stuff in LA for no apparent reason. Just wasting money and putting herself in places where she's becoming a problem for everyone else around her. So people and guests at this hotel, they see Britney running around topless, crying, going nutso in the hallway, so they call the police. And if you listen to the story carefully, the police showed up multiple times. The police were first called because Britney was acting irrational and being rude to guests and staff. And then Britney and her little boyfriend went to their hotel room. Then they started drinking, doing whatever they were doing. And then Britney started acting irrational in the room and got into a big fight with this Paul dude. Now, we don't know much about this Paul dude other than the fact that he's like some ex-convicted felon and that he cleaned Britney's toilets. But, it's really odd to me that her fans that claim to be so protective, right? Her fans fake like this. It's so annoying and disgusting because if you're really protective over a person and you really care about a person, you would be calling out all of the nonsense that Britney's doing. That's protecting Britney. Protecting Britney isn't making excuses for all of her actions. But these people who pretend to be so protective of Britney have nothing to say about the fact that she's with some random dude getting into fights and getting injuries. How do we know that he's not putting his hands on her? And I don't think that's the case. I think it's probably the other way around. But it just goes to show that these fans don't really care about Britney, because instead of questioning the situation at all, they're going to make excuses. But if you really were concerned about Britney, you would be asking, why is she in a hotel room with this new random dude that's in her life? And why is she running around crying with injuries, police and ambulances showing up? But no, they don't want to question any of that Because if you question things, then Britney's mental health comes into question. So they don't care if Paul is taking Britney in the hotel room and beating her up. They don't give a damn. As long as Britney's perfect, nice girl, good girl image is protected, as long as people don't think Britney's crazy, it's fine if dudes put their hands on her or whatever may have happened in that room. That's okay. No one's worried about her health. They're just worried about looking right. They don't want to look stupid as all of these details continue to come out. But like I said, you can deny one story, you can deny another story, you can deny that story and that story. This stuff is piling up, the evidence is piling up, and it's getting to the point that no one can deny it anymore. No one can deny it. And don't get me wrong, these content creators, these YouTubers and TikTokers will still try to deny it. They're just doing whatever they can to do damage control right now. But when it's all said and done, it's going to be undeniable that this woman had mental health issues that needed to be taken care of. And the Free Britney movement did way more harm than good. And, you know, when I look at this story, after everything that I've been trying to expose when it comes to Britney's situation for the last couple of years, after all of the pushback and everything we've dealt with on this channel, it seems like this should be a satisfying moment for me. And a satisfying moment for us over here on this channel, because what's happening now is stuff that we warned people would happen for the last couple of years. And now we're reaching this point where you see images like this one, and it looks like Britney is literally on the brink of being carted off to a mental health hospital, a mental health institution. And, you know, you think that it would be at least somewhat satisfying, because at the very least, this proves that, you know, I was right, and that you all who comment on these videos and watch these videos, you all were right as well. But I don't feel any satisfaction from this. The satisfaction I should be getting from this, because it's kind of like, I don't want to say redeeming, but, you know, I think you all get it. But the satisfaction that I should get from this is not there. The satisfaction and the feeling of satisfaction is just replaced with almost a sense of dread, and I don't want to say depression, but sadness. Because this is really sad. And, you know, I can make fun of Britney's situation. We like to have fun over here and joke. We don't take anything too seriously. And obviously, we've been, you know, throwing jokes at the Yas Queens for a long time. But I don't want to see this. I don't want to see Britney spiraling out of control on the verge of basically becoming another one of these celebrities that dies too young. I don't want this at all. I wanted something totally different for Britney. And it doesn't mean that Britney needs to live the life that I want her to live or do what I want her to do. It's just anything but this. Anything but what we've seen over the last couple of years. You know, anything must be better than whatever the hell we've been experiencing and whatever the hell we've been watching this woman do. You know what I mean? But it's going to get worse. And that's not something that I just say to be cliche. Oh, it's going to get worse, folks. It's going to get worse. And if you think everything you've seen so far is bad, then just wait. Because I was telling you all a couple of years ago that we would eventually reach this point. Well, this point has been reached. So where do we go from here? I don't think that we're going to have one of these beautiful redemption stories. I think we could. There's still a chance, but Britney has no one in her corner. And everyone around Britney, including her fans, they're encouraging this behavior. So we'll sit here, and day by day, more and more, we're going to watch this woman spiral out of control. But for now, you go ahead and spiral out of control down in my comment section and let me know how you feel. Don't bite your tongue. But while you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. If you would like to donate, you can donate via CashApp or Super Thanks. And with all of that being said, I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.